We on. I want to welcome you all to another episode of the For Me to You Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jay Davis, along with Greg. Hey, Greg, you ready? Me versus you. Let's leave it all out on the line. All right, welcome back, everybody. We back with another one. I'm finally back from vacation. It's me, Jay Davis, along with Greg Clark and Marcus Session, a.k.a. the Big Three. So, while I was on vacation, I heard about all these trades and free agent signings. I seen the Patriots. My team was very active. They was very active. They look like they trying to blitz for 6, y'all. Tell you that they coming. We also seen Greg team, the Cincinnati Bengals, once again not make any transact. They didn't do anything besides sign what? Kirkpatrick back. That was it.
Brandon LaFell.
Who cares about
and
LaFell?
the fans out there who don't know, I have a little insider with the Bengals. Tyler Eifert and Burfict, like they about to go into negotiation.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah, you need to keep those two, definitely.
They definitely do. But
how about them Jets?
Well, right now the Jets, they're having an identity crisis. On one end, they're dumping a lot of players, trading people. You see Revis was released. Marshall was released and signed with the Giants. Ooh. And Geno Smith looks like he may be talking to the Giants as well. So on one hand, they're kind of getting younger, getting old contracts out, freeing up cap space. On the other hand, I heard today they're looking at Dante Hightower from the Patriots, who's a free agent.
No, don't do that. Don't take him away from us. No, I want him back.
Yeah, so that's the scuttlebutt today is that the Jets and the Patriots are the leaders on Hightower. So it just right now the Jets' plan is not really clear. Also, it's rumored that there's mutual interest between them and Jay Cutler coming to play quarterback, but and they're also talking about trading or releasing Sheldon Richardson. So on one hand, they're trying to get rid of these high caliber players they got, but on the other hand, why would you bring in a Jay Cutler if you're not really trying to win this year? So it's a little interesting right now.
So do you think y'all trying to tank purposely? Like, what do you call it? Because I don't know who in their right mind would even go after Jay Cutler. I used to believe in him in Denver. I was like, Jay Cutler is a good quarterback. He'll throw for 4,000 yards, and if Andy Dalton even had half of the arm Jay Cutler had, he would be much better. Like, Jay Cutler has a cannon. He can probably throw through a wall, but it's like he doesn't get it. He really doesn't get it. I don't think no team should actually pick up Jay Cutler. But hey, that goes back to what I was saying about the NFL. Jay Cutler probably still better than the bottom half of the NFL quarterbacks right now.
That's true. And think about it.
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say who's at the bottom before we even can say that.
Oh, the bottom.
Because Jay Cutler past 3 years, he's in the late 20s.
Jay Cutler is better than every quarterback on the Browns roster. He's better than every quarterback on the 49ers roster.
29 on the 49ers. Okay.
49 roster. Let me keep going.
Is he better than Alex Smith?
No,
not right now.
No. He's not better than Alex Smith. He's better than every quarterback on the Jaguars roster. What? Then Blake Bortles bullcrap. Blake Bortles bullcrap. I like him, buddy bullcrap.
What Jay Cutler?
Yes, you're right. He's bad too. I'm not saying he's not. He
regressed.
He's just bad.
Let me make a comment about Blake Bortles. The thing with Blake Bortles is he has a lot of stats, right? That's where everybody's basing it off of. But if you look at it, he has a lot of stats in garbage time when they're trailing and the other team is kind of backed off, and he throws for all those touchdowns. That's why the Jaguars be getting blown out early in the game. Then late in the game, it looks a lot closer than it is. So I don't know if Bortles has an effect on the game that's positive. That's my only thing with him. I just don't know. I'm still on the fence on him.
I mean, I don't see a lot of their games, but when they like okay, you're right. Off stats and highlights from what I see from him, at the bottom of the screen, you might see him threw for 346. Might threw four touchdowns and 2 picks.
Yes.
I mean, it might have been garbage time, but I done seen more potential. It's like with Jay Cutler, it's like he just don't even care. I mean, I see some of his blatant interceptions. Like, come on, man, you got Alshon Jeffery, a guy that's 6'4" can go get it with anybody, and a cannon arm like Tay said, he got. I don't, and he stay hurt. I mean, he's probably 27, 20. Oh man,
I don't think he's not 27. He can't, not yet. Jay Cutler probably like 30.
28. Yeah, he's older.
No, I'm talking about ranking.
Oh,
Rankings.
Oh, I got you. I don't know if I'll put him that low.
He's hold on, Marcus. He's actually 33. Go ahead. Jay Cutler's actually 33. Go ahead.
So, I mean, we know he's not in the top 10. We know that for sure. We know he's not in the top 15. We know that for sure. Is he in the top? Is he between 15 to 25? Is he somewhere in that range?
Maybe.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. You know
Maybe.
what? I'm about to do one better for y'all. I'm about to go down the list, right? I'm about to go down the list of teams, and y'all let me know. You let me know. Okay, Arizona Cardinals. Is he better than Carson Palmer? No. Atlanta Falcons. No, he's not better than Matt Ryan, of course. Joe Flacco. I don't know. I've never been too high on Joe Flacco. I don't know.
You ain't got to be high on him, Tay.
No.
You don't have to be high on him.
No, I might have a case. No. Jay Cutler might be better than, or just as, or he's probably not that. Hey, Joe Flacco him does not separate by much if it is any space.
Here's the thing with Joe Flacco. He won a Super Bowl. You got to ask yourself, could Jay Cutler win you a Super Bowl?
No.
If he got that defense around him like that, maybe. If he had that Ravens defense around him like that. And I'm sorry, Ray Rice. Did we forget? Let's not act like Ray Rice just wasn't dominating the whole NFL a couple years ago.
Notori. I mean, what's that guy name?
Anquan Bolden. He was a monster. He was you're right. Anquan Bolden took over that playoff.
Plays. He outthrew the safeties. Jacoby got a contract because of 3 deep passes in that season.
All right. Okay, all right. So that's 2 that he's not. I don't know. We still up in there on that. Buffalo Bills. Is he better than Tyrod Taylor? Tyrod Taylor is very athletic.
Tyrod Taylor. Eddie's a dual threat.
Yeah, I would say no.
Okay, all right. So of course he's not better than Cam Newton. We're not even going to go there. Chicago Bears. Of course we don't know who's going to be their quarterback. Cincinnati. Andy Dalton. Jay Cutler.
No, he's not better than Andy Dalton.
All right.
No, I would say no as well.
What you think, Marcus? Andy Dalton? Is he better than Andy Dalton?
I would say there's some value in being a game manager and not making mistakes. Andy Dalton may not have the best arm in the world, but he wins games, and that's what you need to do.
His Jets. He saw what he did to his Jets last year.
Yeah. He and I would say Andy Dalton. I would take him over Jay Cutler.
Okay, so we all agree Cleveland, though. We all agree he's better than every quarterback on, even Kessler and RG3 and all of them. Right?
Yeah, that's because there's no body of work.
Okay, all right. Yes, true about that. Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take Dak Prescott over him.
Yeah, I take Dak.
Denver Broncos. Simeon. Is he better than Simeon and Paxton Lynch?
We're going off last year. Simeon was better.
Simeon going off last year.
Yeah.
So, you mean to tell me Jay Cutler Kubiak isn't even there no more, but we're going to talk with Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas. You don't think he win more games than Simeon?
Well, with that receiving core, if you had the right system around, and that's what makes this question an interesting one, because if you had the right system around them and the right players and the right coaching, because remember, people forget that Jay Cutler that was in Denver with Brandon Marshall.
He was a monster.
He was a monster.
He was killing it in Denver.
Yeah. So just right now, I think.
Did they go to the playoffs?
Did they go the Broncos?
The Brandon Marshall ain't never. This is the first time probably going to the playoff in his career.
Brandon Marshall's never been.
I don't think so. There was a couple 8-8, he had a couple 4,000 yards. I was shocked.
Man, you saying 8-8? That's cool.
Hey, it's
I mean,
just,
what you gonna be picking? What 12, 10? Brandon
All right.
Moore, y'all said they killed him. He never been to the playoffs, and that shocked me. I saw that on NFL Network. Didn't know that.
but then
Yeah.
again, you know what, G? I also said, what would he do with that team? But let's not forget, Jay Cutler did have that team. You did have Brandon Marshall with Alshon, with Bennett, with Forte. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why the Bears didn't get, but the Bears didn't have that defense though. Again, like you throw Jay Cutler with that defense, like, all right, you mean tell me Jay
So
Cutler can't put up 14, 20? I mean, that defense only need about 17 points to win a game. Only 17 points, probably.
so let me add so what I did, I looked up the last season that Jay Cutler played a full season was 2015, and he was ranked roughly about 19 behind Sam Bradford, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill. All those guys were ranked ahead of him, right? And then we know who at the top, but he was about 19.
Yeah,
Now it's interesting. He actually had, from a stat perspective, better stats than Andy Dalton, except for interceptions, of course. But Andy Dalton had a little bit of a higher rating, so that's a little interesting.
What was his record last year?
Whose record?
Yeah,
Bears. Let me see what their record
like
was.
7-9.
Yeah, they weren't very good. Thinking about 500.
Okay.
the Bears won 8 games last year. What?
Are you
Yeah.
talking about 2016?
Yeah, last year.
No, last year was
like
like
4
4 or
and
5
12.
games.
Yeah, I'm about
But he
to
was
say,
hurt. He was hurt last year though.
He's been hurt every
I would
year.
take Tony Romo over Jay Cutler.
Agree. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm not disputing that at all.
There.
I'm not disputing that at all. That's not a. Yeah, I'm just saying though that could be. He's still
He
better
needed
than.
something.
That's like what's the guy from Tampa Bay? The backup to Jameis Winston. They throwing big money.
Mike Glennon.
Yeah, like Glenn. I've seen him play, but I'm like, yeah, he's okay, but it's like not astounding. Like teams are really pushing for the guy. Like, yeah, he's gonna be our starter. Mike Glennon is gonna get us over the hump. I'm like, and actually seeing your post, Marcus, on Facebook, you said you seen Jameis, and you said people was dying to take pictures with him, but Mike Glennon, he might have to explain who he is. Like Mike Glennon, like come on now, no,
Exactly.
no way. Like he's tried. Like come on now, that's like Osweiler. How do y'all feel about that? That was another thing about the Bears and I'm sorry, not the Bears, but the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Osweiler being traded, and Houston not getting Tony Romo because I'm pretty sure once we seen that, it was like, oh, Tony Romo might actually go to Houston. Gonna find out he's not right now, and the Cowboys might not trade him. So my question to y'all, I know I don't answer y'all like 3 questions in one, but this is the question right here. Do y'all think Tony Romo stand on the roster? And I'm gonna start with you first, G. Tony Romo stand on the roster. How is that going to affect Dak Prescott? Does Dak Prescott look at Jerry Jones and be like, "Do you really want me on this team for real?" How do you feel about that?
I just feel about it. If Tony Romo and Jerry Jones got the type of relationship that the public pumps, and if Tony Romo really want to play really play this year, field, he got to be released. He got to have that talk with Jerry, saying that I understand this is not my team no more. Dak just took this team to new heights. I don't want to interfere with what's going on, but I feel like I'm healthy enough to play. Would you please release me? I think he'd do it. But what Jerry don't want to let go is the relationship. And to me, deep down inside, he wants Tony Romo to lead his team to the Super Bowl and possibly win it because he invested so much into Tony. He believes in Tony. But to see this young man come and take this team by the horns and lead them, it's like a mix of emotions because they winning. I don't want to say was Jerry really waiting on Dak to lose or Dak to have a real live meltdown to put Romo in with the team riding high, and he could just take them and win the Super Bowl, say week 13 or something, and just get hot, win 7 in a row, eight games, and they win the Super Bowl, and that's the storyline for them. But I feel like if Jerry going with Dak, let it be Dak. Don't have Dak looking over his shoulder because that can be a huge distraction. And if Tony want to play like he said he want to play, he should get released. And to me, like teams like the Jets, Houston, come call him.
Well, I would agree with that take. If Tony Romo does want to play, right? So we know he doesn't want to sit on the bench. So he definitely needs to go and ask Jerry for his release or trade if he hadn't done it already. But I think this is what Dallas is partially thinking. Because remember, they were initially going to release him. Mm-hmm. And then it changed all of a sudden. Then they talked about, well, he might get traded. But then now you haven't really heard anything. Dallas is struggling with this, right? It's two things. One, with Tony Romo, they've lived a quarterback getting hurt, and then you have to go to your backup. So on the roster last year, they had Mark Sanchez. I mean, as a Jets fan, I can tell you, that guy not going to win your Super Bowl.
No.
You know. So they have a team that's capable of winning the Super Bowl. If that goes down, and you could put Tony Romo in there, the ship keeps moving. But you got this problem because now you got these two guys in the locker room, and I think they get along fine. Tony's a professional, Dak's a professional. It's just one of these. If Dak struggles, you're gonna have people saying, "Why don't you put Tony back in there?" Now, the second point is the NFL is constantly about adjustments. Dak Prescott came on the scene. Dallas jumped on everybody. Nobody really knew what to do. Dallas had a certain formula. Now, Green Bay finally caught up with him in the playoffs. But now, think about it. You're going to have Belichick, Pete Carroll, all these guys have a whole year of film to dissect in the offseason what Dallas is doing with Dak, what they're doing with Zeke, and how they're facilitating the game. So it's very likely that Dak is going to struggle at times next year. So I think Jerry's kind of like, man, I got this insurance policy with Tony Romo just in case this Dak thing either don't work out or he gets hurt. I got something that I can put in that I know is proven. And I think that's where the issue is. Tony needs to move on, but I just don't think Dallas really knows what to do.
Okay, so I'm actually looking at this article and it says, possible interested teams and Romo appear unwilling to take on a 36-year-old contract or overpay for a quarterback who has started 4 games during the past 2 seasons. And they're also saying Cowboys are unwilling to trade Romo to a city in which he does not want to play. So it's like, Romo, where do you want to go? But it's like, nobody's about to. What is it? What is it, Marcus? I think it's $24 million. Like, come on, I'm not about to. No way. So it's like, but they might lose out. He might just get released eventually. I think that'll be what it is. He gets released and he goes to the Broncos or something.
Or look, you got to think of this. Dallas got holes to fill. They not out there really like we've been seeing. They not out there on the free agency cashing out. They might just keep on to him until the draft and get picks. Pull a Belichick. See what can I get for Tony? What's his value? Who's really desperate for a quarterback? Do they draft a young quarterback and say, learn from Tony Romo for this year or two? You know, you got to look at that too. You can get, say a third and a fourth for him. I'm just throwing it out there. A third and a fourth for Tony. And say Tony go to Houston. Tony go to the Jets or somebody like that. But the Jets still draft a young quarterback. Say the guy from Clemson. And they said, well, we want you to learn from Tony for a year. Or say a year or two. Dang. I mean, there you go right there. And then Dallas, you know, they need a pass rush. They need a cornerback. We all saw that all these top receivers, Terrell Pryor, Torrey Smith,
Deshaun Jackson,
Brandon
Cooks.
Yeah, they all coming to the NFC East.
Oh, okay.
And you know they don't have cornerbacks. They can use extra picks. They can go get a safety. You know, probably move up or something. That's why I was thinking too. They might keep him and just get draft picks for him. So better for their team.
That's $24 million. That means you need to give up your first, your second. Yeah. Like you have to give up almost half of your draft just for, like they said, a 36-year-old quarterback who's constantly hurt.
And see that, like, just like what Greg was saying, that the Jets are looking at trying to maybe bring in Brandon Carr, who was one of Dallas' starting cornerbacks last year. So they're going to lose some guys in free agency. The thing is that if you trade for Tony Romo, Dallas is going to want significant pieces in return. And look, taking an expensive 1 or 2 year rental on Romo, that's not a bad move. You just don't want to mortgage too many pieces of your future or too many valued assets to get him. So that's why you'd rather pick him up as a free agent. Yeah, the salary cap just went up to $160 million, I think. So a lot of teams have extra money, so they could take Romo, but they don't want to give up too many assets to get him. You don't want to mortgage the future for something short term.
Makes sense.
Wow, so teams can really mess you up. Teams can really get you good. In this case, Dallas is best because I'm pretty sure if it was only like 12,000, somebody would have jumped in like bet. You know what? I mean, 12,000. I'm sorry, 12 million. Somebody would have jumped in like, okay, I'll take Romo. Give me him 2 year. I get it. Come on, I'll pay him 12 million. But 24? That's like Andrew Luck. Oh, that's Tom. Of course, Tom ain't even getting 24. I don't think, but that's like. What's the guy? Aaron Rodgers or something. Like, is he going? And then if he get hurt, then what? So he comes over here, and it's like it's 24 minutes. Now I just wasted. Now I need to go get me another quarterback now. So really, I think they might need to teams might just need to really stick and look for the draft. But then again, it's like I'm not always so big on. Oh, okay. He's the best quarterback. How about we get him number one? Like, what's the guy? Mitch Trubisky. This guy from North Carolina, they're talking about taking him number one overall. We just seen the Rams just did a belly flop. You traded all those picks just to not play golf until the 8th game of the season. He gets in and he stinks it up. That's what I was telling Greg on the phone. I was like, man, I would have just waited to the 4th round. And if I'd had a genie bottle and got Dak Prescott, and they're like, look, now I would have made everybody into a believer. How do that look?
Do y'all think Dak would have been who he was if he was at another team? Got the number one offensive line, got a top 5 running back. Would he be that if he was in St. Louis? Yeah, he got the one guy.
He got Gurley. Gurley. He's solid though.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott is solid.
I like Gurley. But do we got a Dez Bryant over there?
Do we got a Taysom over there? He had Kenny Britt. He had Tavon Austin, a couple Bailey. He got a couple weapons. I mean, it's not Dez Bryant, but that's a running game, and evidently that running game didn't even get too much off the ground last year. It's surprising that Todd Gurley really didn't have an impressive year at all this year. I don't know what happened with them. So
well, that's the result of not having a passing game. See,
true.
And I think that Dallas. To answer your question about Dak, I think he's in the right system in the right place, and that offensive line makes a big difference. So I don't know if Dak will be doing what he's doing, because if you look at how Dallas is doing, they really have a structured game plan for Dak. They run Zeke. Zeke sets the tone. Teams come in the box, try to stop Zeke. Then Dak has it easy. I can hit Witten, I can hit Dez Bryant, or I can hit Terrence Williams. I got play action passing. So if he play action to Zeke, teams come up and react to that run. He steps back. And if you notice, a lot of his passes are very checked out. He look at one.
Yes, I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks maybe to the left or the right. Oh, Dez ain't open. I'm just gonna hit the guy in the flat or whatever. My check down, and it's easy for him. So I don't know if you take him and you put him in a situation where he doesn't have that kind of offensive line. I think he would struggle more like a rookie would. Like, look at Jared Goff, man. That first game Jared Goff started, it was like a deer in the headlights, man.
You know who I like? I do like the quarterback from the Eagles. Why am I forgetting all these guys' names?
Carson Wentz.
I like him a lot. And him coming from North Dakota State, it was a couple questions. Oh, he's what's that, a mid-major, 1AA? Can he get it done? Carson Wentz looked good. And he didn't have the running game. And the receiver, oh my. Can we please? I'm so glad the Eagles are getting him some help. Carson Wentz needs some receivers. Like somebody, like those receivers can't catch a boat if it was thrown at them. It's like they were bad. And Nelson Aguilar, he was what, coming from USC? He was ranked pretty high. They got the other guy. They got the big slot receiver But it's like
I like who? Matthews.
yes, yeah, they put
I
him in the
like
Jordan
him.
Matthews.
I
yeah.
like him. I
But
think.
this go back to what G was said about the NFC. The NFC East is getting it's gonna be much harder, Dallas, and they're gonna lose a couple players. But so I would be pressing like, you know what, we need to get Romo out of here. I can use some more draft picks. I can go draft somebody, but it's like $24 million. Who's gonna take it on?
So one thing Dallas could do, I mean, this is getting into how teams do their business. One thing that Dallas could do is they could offer to, absorb part of that contract. So let's say, hey, we'll pay $14 million of that $24 million. So we'll still pay $14 million of that salary. But I think the sticking point for teams is what does Dallas want in return? And if you haven't seen any action that's happened just yet, I don't know if Dallas is just asking too much. And plus, they said in that article you read, a team that Romo would want to play for.
Yeah, so it's like it's so many stipulations. Like I don't know. And then like G was saying, go ahead, G. Go ahead.
Gotta look at it. The Tony is going to say that because of the relationship that he has with Jerry. He don't want Jerry to place him with the Cleveland Browns. He don't want Jerry to place him with a team where he don't have a chance to at least make the playoffs. What happened? So that's why that came public. Everybody can probably warn or hint or call, but if you're in a top 5 drafting, don't even consider. Please don't consider. Now, I need somebody at least, I'm going to say, who picking 25th to last. That's Tony Romo thinking, because he knows that he don't got long. He knows it could be one hit, so he want to put himself in the best situation when he do leave Dallas to have a chance at a ring, even at least going to the playoffs, at least that. You don't want to be 15th. You don't want to be on a 6-10 team. You want to be on a team that's, oh man, maybe if I go here, I can be the missing link. Houston got J.J. Watt. They got Hopkins. Oh man, and they just drafted Fuller last year. I got a speedster. He's looking at that. They got a decent offensive line. I mean, Houston makes sense. Denver makes sense, but do you go Denver with Paxton Lynch and one guy Simeon, whatever his name was?
They talk about the Jets. I think the Jets linked them too. Market the Jets looking at them too. It's like it's so crazy. Mm-hmm. Not to cut you off, G, but it's like quarterback playing the NFL. Like what? Like I made a video about this. It was months ago, and it kind of frustrates me because like when you're a quarterback, you've been playing since you were like 5 years old. That one position. We've seen Richard Sherman play receiver, go to cornerback. We've seen running backs go to receiver. Defensive backs go to running back. It's like, as your quarterback, you've been playing that one position. I'm pretty sure you wasn't a receiver, and then you just got in high school and they're like, well, we're going to make you the quarterback. Like, you've been practicing for so long, you get to the NFL, and it's like deer in headlights. It's like, what is up? Why don't we have enough quality receiver? And is it just because it's 32 teams, and they probably only keep, maybe 3 quarterbacks, so, like, you'll have more defensive backs or more running backs on the roster? Like, what is up with this whole vetting process of the whole quarterbacks? Like, why isn't the quarterbacks translating what they were doing? Why isn't Matt Barkley doing? He was doing at UFC. Why is he doing that? Why didn't Matt Leinart do the same thing? Why didn't all these other quarterbacks do the same exact thing that they did in college to the NFL? Please answer that for me, somebody.
So it's a couple of different things. So number one, coaches now. Really, to be honest with you, it's a 3-year job. And then after that, I would say it's a series of 1-year contracts. You have 3 years to prove you can win. So what that means is if I bring in a young player, I'm going to play him right away. There's no time or effort given to developing quarterbacks anymore. You don't have that time. Like Aaron Rodgers got to sit behind Brett Favre for a couple of years and learn the game and get coached and get indoctrinated into that Green Bay system. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen anymore because as a coach, if you don't win, you're out. I mean, look at this. Todd Bowles I mean, I hate for the Jets to always be the example, but I mean, hey, I mean, it is what it is. Todd Bowles has only been there for 2 seasons. You know, I mean, the guy was on the hot seat last year. I mean, so if you hire somebody, you have to make an investment in that person. But literally, after the season was over, is Todd Bowles gonna get fired? Is there turmoil in the team? Is he gonna survive? Wait a minute, the guys had been coaching the team that long, so coaches then react like it's human nature. You're going to try to change to keep your job. So instead of doing what's best long term and having a plan, you trying to manage day to day to stay employed. The second thing is these college offenses have now gone more to the spread. What the way that spread works, it's all about speed, it's all about simplicity, because they're like, look, we only gonna have these guys for 1 or 2 years. You rarely see a quarterback start for 4 years in college anymore. So they got these systems now where they basically call plays. It's a number, or they look over at them crazy signs they have on the sideline, and they're calling the play in and saying, run play 36. And look, it's pretty simple. Look at this receiver. If that guy's not open, throw it to the check down. That's like Oregon's offense, all these spread offenses. Mm-hmm. You don't read defenses anymore. So now these guys are coming into the NFL and they can't read defenses. So if you can't read a defense and you don't know what a cover 3 or cover 2 looks like, you're not going to be able to play in the league. You're not going to be successful. If they're not developing you in the league, that's why you see a big void in a quarterback play.
And I definitely agree with what Mark is saying. And then you got to think, too, a lot of these top guys, the top picks and the top quarterbacks come from powerhouse programs, that's more dominant, like an Alabama, I said Clemson. But they're not taking them guys with them to their team. They got to learn other players' tendencies. Like you said, the play calling is different. The terminology is different. Like you said, you put a card up, it might be a Lego. You know what that is. Mm-hmm. How many games we didn't watch college football when a quarterback get up under the center and come back, the whole team stand up and look over. Then they go back. Then they slapping hands, JT Barrett. I guess that's the snap count. I mean, you don't see that in the NFL. You might see a leg kick. That's what I've been seeing throughout my years, but the hand clap signal. And then another thing that a lot of people don't talk about is the speed of the game change. Ezekiel Elliott spoke on that. Even though he got the number 1 offensive line, he said them holes don't be open as much. That's why he said, like, get it and hit it. It's a few guys that are more patient, but the speed of the game, you got linebackers that sideline that can run a 4.5 or 4.4. And it's different. Now, in college, they probably ran the nose tackle. You got nose tackles like Geno, Sheldon Richardson. What's the guy with the Rams? McDonald. These guys blowing up centers, and before you even handing the ball off, you getting tackled. And then it's a shell shock that I'm really here. I'm really going against J.J. Watt. I'm really going against Javon Clowney. And that really plays a toll. You got guys coming off the blitz, zone blitzing. The left look like it's coming, but the middle shoot up. I mean, now us as fans gonna be like, he ain't do that when he played against Alabama. He ain't do. It's totally different. The scheme, like Marcus said it about that. He hit it on the nail. Everybody got footage on you now. We coming to see you. Oh, we coming to see you. We know your weakness. Oh, we know that check down to Beasley. I mean,
check down to it's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
Now, okay. So this is my thing right here. So basically, and I'm pretty sure we are all in agreement with this. It's more of the college coaches. I'm not going to just say college, but high school, because Marcus was saying that, of course, and we all see it, and I'm pretty sure for our listeners out there, we see that the game is pass. The days with Jim Brown and all those guys just bulldoze over you, run the ball 40 times a game, that doesn't happen no more. It's more spread out, and as you can see, more defenses are playing more nickel, more sub packages. So do y'all think college coaches are failing these guys? Like, okay, so I would say like Oregon, because I wonder. Okay, if I'm fast, yeah, that's nice, but how many Oregon receivers have translated what they did into the NFL? LaMarcus James, well, that's running back, but like just guys like that, LaMarcus James, that didn't happen. The Black Mamba, that really didn't happen. It was a couple of them. Huff over with the Eagles might be one of the best ones that came out of Oregon. That's kind of bad. So my thing is, do these kids to actually be prepared? Do they need to go to more college ready systems like Ohio State, Alabama? But if y'all say yes to that, we got the quarterbacks of Alabama. Who was it? John Parker Wilson. What's the backup for the Bengals? It's
AJ McCarron.
McCarron was the one with the Jets. The one that went to the Jets too.
Greg McElroy.
Yeah, so it's like
McElroy.
So it's like, yeah, you are in a pro system where you get to run the ball and then you will get to stretch the field at times. We see AJ McCarron that game against LSU. He showed us something that we was like, whoa, AJ McCarron can do this. Y'all remember what I'm talking about, right? When they played Alabama, LSU. McCarron was throwing that ball all over the field. I'm like, whoa, we don't get to see that too often. So these guys aren't even going to pro system, and they're still not really getting it. But I understand the speed of the game. It's much faster. But it's like...
Guys are smarter.
Very much so.
You know, I mean, you got defensive ends, linebackers that seen everything they about to do. They sometimes, like I say, I done seen certain screenplays just get blew up because they already know where it's going. You know, I done seen Vontaze blow up. I done seen Kuechly. You know, just read plays is just like it's so obvious because the defensive guys have seen it. They even know these rookie tendencies, what they like to do, where they like to throw. You know, a lot of rookie quarterbacks had wide receivers on certain sides, and they know once they lined up. You know how I know? Because with Andy Dalton and AJ Green, this the first year AJ Green ever been moved around, playing the slot, going to the right, to the left. AJ used to line up on the left side of the field all the time. That's why it was easy to shut him down. And I'm a huge Bengal fan, but honest, it was easy. And for some odd reason, most of his kicks came from that side. But you got to move AJ to the slot. You got to put him on the right. You got to move these guys around like Pittsburgh do to Brown, like the Giants do with Beckham. And make it harder for them to, you know, play you. Because they know who your go-to guy is. But once he covered, what about your number two? What about your check down, your three, your tight end? You gotta develop a rhythm. And if you're not, you ain't gonna make it long. You're not gonna make it long in the NFL. You're gonna be a bust. We're gonna be having talks. Man, what happened to this guy? He did this, he did that.
Okay.
Vince Young,
now
Johnny Manziel.
Now that you say that, Marcus actually brought this to my attention. You know, I've been gone for a week, so I was not aware of what Shannon Sharp said. And G, I'm pretty sure you are. But Shannon Sharp stated that if McCaffrey was white, if he was African American, then he'd be a top 10 pick. Is that true? I'm not gonna say that because we've seen those scat backs in the NFL, and it speaks to what y'all were saying. You could be as fast as you want in college. But guess what? That defensive lineman, just like y'all was saying, running 4.7. So he's going to be closer on you. I got linebackers running 4.4s. And now our cornerbacks in them, they can tackle better than ever. That's the thing about the NFL. In the NFL, you will be exposed. That's a pretty big field. Oh, if you can't tackle, you cut. I'm about to go get somebody that can tackle. That can tackle that 4.2, 4.3 speed. That's just like the guy, John Ross. Yeah, you run a 4.2, but how good is your hands? We've seen that with Darius Hayward-Bay. Lightning speed. You can't catch for nothing. But I stay on McCaffrey. I don't think race has anything to do with McCaffrey probably not going in the top 10. It's just the way the NFL is. It's like we've seen. It's a million scat back. Shane Vereen. It's a million of them. And And not to say that Vereen can even do half of what or he can do what McCaffrey can do because he probably can't. I mean, he can, but we see McCaffrey returning punch. He returned kicks. But my favorite college player, Reggie Bush, he made a fool out of me. I thought Reggie Bush was about to be the next best thing ever. But it's like, that doesn't happen in the NFL far too often. It's like, because everybody's just as fast as you, and the angles that they take are superb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So on that point, I agree with you because the way I kind of look at it, like Reggie Bush was an exception to the rule, and he did disappoint a lot of people. But essentially, the way I look at it, you have the Danny Woodheads of the world. If you go back in time a little bit, you have a Dave Meggett, players like that. Those players are not, they're third down backs. That's what they are. These guys aren't guys you're going to give, 30 carries a game to. And I think with the way the NFL has changed, yes, McCaffrey is versatile. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can play receiver. He can run kicks back. He can do a lot of that stuff, similar to like a Tyreek Hill. You saw what Kansas City did with him this year. I wouldn't say he's a top 10 pick just because he has the measurables. Like he has a fast 40 time. His vertical jump was up there, with some of the best guys, in the league. His shuttle run was great. He was a little bit light on the bench press. At the end of the day, it's not. You have to look at potential, and what McCaffrey has potential to be is a very good third down back. I don't think he has the size to be a guy that's gonna be able to tote the load for you like a Zeke or Todd Gurley or something like that. So I think it's just the nature of the game, and I think because he's the one who even kind of made a comment saying he feels like he's a little bit disrespected among running backs. He kind of stayed away from the race thing, but you could read between the lines and tell that's what he was saying. I just think at the end of the day, he's a third down back, a very good third down back, and you can put him in a lot of different positions.
I got a question. Why did Shannon go to race?
Because essentially he was looking at his measurables on the combine, and he had, I think his 40 time was maybe a smidge faster than Zeke's. There was another running back I forgot. His vertical jump was a smidge below his, and his shuttle run was higher than Odell Beckham's. So he said, if you take this, his measurables line up with some of the best players in the league, OBJ, Zeke Elliott, and I forgot who the other player was. So he's saying if this guy's measurables are up there with those guys who are top first round, top 10 picks, how come he's not getting the run? He also broke Barry Sanders' record in college for total yardage. And then after that, he put up another 1,600 yards and 20 something touchdowns. Mm-hmm. So he's saying, if you look at all that, he said he's done more than Fournette.
Okay.
Why is Fournette a top 5, a top 10 pick, but McCaffrey isn't? That's where Shannon that's why he kind of went there with that.
I say safer pick. That's safer pick. Go ahead, G. Go ahead.
Now, since explain that, and I thank you for that, because I didn't see it, but going off the 40, going off the bench, going off the shuttle, the vertical, it's cool. It's cool. The reason we're not going off that because we seen people fail with that type of thing, with the type of vertical. That don't mean you're going to be a great player in this league. We saying that because we saw Zeke perform. We saw Odell Beckham just tearing the lead up. So we're going to automatically put him there to say, oh, your vertical was a little more than this guy. Your shuttle was a little faster than this guy. No, you got to earn that spot to say, well, they passed up on him. I mean, even Randy Moss, yeah, he had problems, but he was still passed on. I know McCaffrey broke all the records. I think he's a great college player. But me personally, after you out of college, you're basic to me. Fournette basic. Ezekiel was basic. You got to show me in this league now. Because I done seen too many buses a la Reggie Bush,
Well, but hold on. He really wasn't a bust. Wait, hold on. Right quick.
No,
He really wasn't a bust.
hold on.
He just
I'm
didn't
talking
do
about
what he...
compared to what he did
Okay,
to
all right.
college. Compared to what this guy did in college.
He put the back juke on the game for
He
Reggie
ain't
Bush.
how many yards did he have last year with Buffalo?
I don't even know if he... I think... Did he get cut or something? I don't know, because I know Gillislee was taking over. And LaShawn and the other guy from Florida State wasn't getting in trouble. I don't even know Reggie.
I mean,
Reggie
he
Bush
got a
did.
ring with the Saints. Cool, but he wasn't what we thought he was.
He need to go to New
But
England.
McCaffrey got to prove himself. And okay, if we want to use, if Shannon want to go with the race, we'd probably be hyped, all that. But Leonard Fournette, I mean, his runs, what, he 232? No, he 240.
Yeah.
Woo. I mean, yeah. I mean, well, McCaffrey's not 240. Ezekiel Elliott was 225. McCaffrey's not 225.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he's a third down back or a player. But I don't even think he's bigger than Edelman, is he?
Nah, I think he's like they listen to. I think about 205. I think, but I don't think he's even that big.
Okay, we're gonna find out.
201.
Whoever.
201. 6 feet. 201.
Oh, come on. I think. I mean, in college, great player. Caught my attention because I ain't gonna lie. I started watching him middle of the season.
Mm.
I heard he was in a Heisman race. I said, let me start watching this guy. But the race thing, if he was black, he would have been, I don't know.
I'm not going to go with that.
Yeah.
And now that you said Julian Edelman, they kind of put things in perspective because he's 5'10", 198. And he goes down pretty easy at times. Even though he's tough, if Julian Edelman's tough, it's like throw a little slant, boom, he's tackled like McCaffrey. You gotta be very Julian. That's what I'm saying.
Julian tough.
He is tough. But what I'm saying is just imagine a 6 feet, 200-pound running back running through them holes. Like, if you don't get on the ground, like it seems like it'll be easier to tackle them. And I'm pretty sure he had 200-some-pound running back. Actually, what running back is 200-pound that's really... I mean, Darren Sproles, besides somebody like that, I'm pretty sure he probably ain't even 200. He got a lot of power now.
I bet Darren can bench 225 more than 10 times.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree.
I mean, because that's power. Now,
he 190 too, 5'6", 190, Darren Sproles.
I mean, you got to look at that like, well, I mean, he's a finesse running back to me for McCaffrey is. He's finesse. Like I said, he's a third down back. He's not going to be a guy that tote 20 carries. I think he's a screen guy. He might get a couple of carries here and there, but he's a bubble screen guy to me. He'll get that block and get that screen and have some offensive linemen in front of him. You want to get him in space and let him go to work in space.
That's the same thing you wanted to do with every other fast running back / receiver who's came to the NFL. You want to do the same thing, get them in space, but it's like the speed of the game is so fast that they're just as fast as you. So space don't even cut it no more. It's more. It's about way more than just getting them out of space and your speed for real. But Leonard Fournette, I would take him 1,000 times over Christian McCaffrey every time. Every time. I think it's more of a safer pick. And just from the offense, he ran a pro style offense. Not saying that just because you run a pro style that it's going to translate, but I think he's definitely well prepared for this game. NFL, definitely.
I think one point that kind of links the two conversations we were just having, the one about McCaffrey and then the one where we were talking about, sort of the free agency stuff and why the quarterbacks aren't as good. This is the one thing that is, I should say, people don't take into account a lot. The fact is, in college, Nick Saban gets the shot for all the groceries in his house. And in the NFL, you're drafting, so you have to guess on guys. You can't go just pick who you want and say, yeah, I want to get these 12 players. Well, no, so they might be picked, but you're playing against the best at every position. These guys are NFL caliber players. So you're getting, instead of getting, Clemson, every player on the college team isn't 5 stars.
Agreed.
They have maybe the top teams may get 3 or 4 5 stars a year. The rest of it is filled with 4 and 3 and 2, some 2 stars. So the thing is, with the NFL, you're dealing with all form of, for the most part, 5-star, 4-star caliber players. So there's not going to be like a game like I forgot what was one game I watched, man, and it was just, why they playing these guys? I think it was like Florida versus Coastal Carolina. Like, why? Those guys shouldn't have been on the field with Florida. You're not going to have many of those games in the NFL where you're going to be facing teams that have players who just aren't, they can't run with you, they can't tackle you. So a Christian McCaffrey, who in some games is going to just run roughshod over teams like that in the NFL, you're not going to have that many of those days. Like you're going to catch the ball and you may make one guy miss, but there's going to be 3 other guys right there with you. So that 30-yard game in college may only be a 5-yard game in the pros.
So it is true.
What was you about to say, G, before we wrap it up? What was you about to say? I know you had one more thing to say.
The guy from Oklahoma.
Joe Mixon?
Beast.
The Cincinnati Bengals. Second time meeting with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I went and looked at his highlights on YouTube. Listeners, I slept on this guy.
Better wake up.
Man, I'm going to just say, man.
Man. First round talent. Round talent. Man.
Yeah, see, home run hitter.
See, and to add to that, right, with what we talked about in the last podcast, think about this. Because McCaffrey has not had any incidents in college, he will probably be drafted before Joe Mixon. But if you took everything away, right, and you were blind, and you just compared the 2 players' resumes, you would pick Joe Mixon every time.
Yeah. Besides the stat, because like you said, McCaffrey broke everything. But from the eye test, watching them, and people that actually know about football, oh yeah, Joe Mixon every time. Joe Mixon can do it all. He can be a third. He's an every down back, definitely.
Man, and passing ability. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So even think about that, right? Let's say I'm a team. All right, let's say I'm the Bengals, right? We on the board. What are the Bengals picking?
10th.
10th.
9th.
So they're picking 9th. They probably not gonna take a running back first, obviously, because they got Jeremy Hill and some of those guys.
Ruben Foster.
Yeah. So you gotta go defense, right? So, but let's say they get to the second round and McCaffrey's there. They're like, we could add a great player, but man, Joe Mixon's still on the board. Yeah. Let's go get another defensive player. Come to the third round. Let's say McCaffrey's still there. Man, we can but Joe Mixon's still on the board. You see, so a Joe Mixon, you might get him in the 5th round. So why would you even draft? So he's going to affect the draft stock of other running backs in this draft.
So good, I'm scared if we don't get him with the 2nd pick. I'm that scared. I'm looking at teams like Philadelphia. I'm looking at Minnesota. I'm looking at
the Giants. Please, Giants, don't go to the Giants. We don't want them to get any better. I don't want them to get any
better. And I'm looking at the Patriots. Because if we fall forward and say the Patriots pick before us, whatever, oh my goodness. I'm saying with that 2 pick, I'm willing to trade Hill for a 3rd or 4th round if we get him.
Wow. Hey, we do need a power back because I don't know if LeGarrette Blount coming back. So.
Oh, y'all want Hill for a 4th round pick?
Hey, Jeremy, I'll be running through them holes. I know. Hey, we might.
Like Dillon. He'd be like Corey Dillon all over.
Man, yeah, the Cincinnati Corey Dillon. The Cincinnati, but this was great, amazing. We started out, we was going to talk about free agency, but we wound up going to Jay Cutler. We wound up going to the McCaffrey guy. I missed somebody, too, before that. But it's like, you never know, listeners, so you never know what you're going to hear. I mean, our conversations are just that great, and we want to thank everybody for listening, downloading the podcast. Just please continue to support us, share, tell people about it. Subscribe to us on iTunes, please. We want to be one of the top podcasts. I think everybody need to hear what we talking about. The big 3, I go by the name of Jay Davis, a.k.a. Tay. We got Greg Clark. And we also got Marcus Sessions. Stay tuned. From me to you, signing out.